Hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing great. So, welcome to our today's live stream, which we are going to talk about something that is related to React.js, which is loading, like lazy loading. So, before continuing the live stream, first we need to introduce ourselves. So, my name is Ali. So, it's been 2 years that I'm coding. So, I'm a front-end developer. So, Toby, like, do you want to talk? Or because Toby is having a connection issue, so he won't be able to help me during this live stream. So, Toby, can you hear me? Okay, so that means he can't hear me. So let's continue. So let me share my screen so that you can see. So, okay, so before jumping to the VS Code for making the project, like I want to tell you like what kind of project we are going to be working on. So it's going to be a very simple project. Like we are in a page with ton of image. Like these are the image that are I took them from a website by the name of Unsplash. So they are free. So make sure to check them to make check that for getting lots of free images with full quality. So let me refresh the page and see what's going on. You see, once I'm refreshing the page, we are not going to get all the image at once. You see, it's just loading and downloading the image once the image is on the page. Like for example, if we go to the DevTools and go to the right now, we are in the elements, go to the network and select the image. So once I click the refresh button, you see, it's not going to download all the image. It is going to download the image, those image that are currently on the page, which is this four image. So it is going to first download the first four image or those images that are currently on this page, which is this four, and it's not going to download the rest image. So once I'm scrolling down, you see, it is going to download the image once the image is on the screen. But if I don't use, so you might ask, like, what's the point of using lazy loading? So if you don't use the lazy loading, then if the user come to the website, then it's going to that website must download all the image so that we can see the image on the page. So we don't want the website to be like that. We want those image to be downloaded that are currently on the page. Those images that we can see right now. So right now we can see this four image. So this four image must be downloaded at first, not all of it. So that's the logic that we are going to make throughout this live stream. And you see, well, while I'm scrolling, it's downloading the rest image. And yeah, that's. But if I don't use the lazy loading, then if I refresh the page, you see, we will get all the image downloaded. But right now we just see some amount of image. So that's enough for talking. Let's go back to the coding. So right now we are. So if you don't know how to create React project, then you can do some. Go to the terminal. So you can go terminal, new terminal, and say you can use anything like npm or yarn or pnpm, doesn't matter. For this live stream we are going to use npm. So npm, we say create vid. So we are going to use vid for creating React project. So and say we are going to create the project in the same folder, which is teach. So I'm not going to run that because I already did that. So once you click this like create vid, so it's going to give you several options, like several frameworks like library, JavaScript library. So you have to use the React. And then once you click the React, then you are going to get another option like, do you want to use TypeScript or JavaScript? So for the sake of this live stream, we are going to use JavaScript. So once you click that and click and run npm install, then it's going to install all the dependencies. And after that, when you're done, all you need to do is to run the project. So say npm run div. So once you run this command, then you have to wait, and it's going to generate a local host, and you must click this one. It's You see, we are getting this template which is coming from the read itself. So we don't really need this one. We can remove this one. So all we need to do is, so right now, if we are seeing in the src, there are several files like apps.css, app.jsx. So I don't really need this app.css. I'm going to delete this one, and I don't need this styling. I'm going to add my own styling and say margin 0 and padding. I'm sure you all know this one, so there's no need to explain it. So box sizing is border box. So that's all. And we'll come back to it later, like for the grid and adding gap between each image. So I will come back to it later. And also in app.jsx, in main.jsx, we don't really need this one. Yeah, so let's go to the app.jsx. So we don't really need this div here. And also we don't really need this user state. This whole thing, we don't really need this one. All we need to have is one h1 and say lazy loading. And that's it. So let's go to the CSS and add some styling and say, let's target body and add a font family, sans serif. Okay, that's good. So right now, what I'm going to do, like for displaying this whole image, before that, like I've already made an array full of image for saving time. So all I need to do is go to a file that file exists. So it was preview. So let's go here. But you don't really need this one to do this one. I just going to copy this image array. It's an array. So let's come here and make a file by the name of data.jsx. I'm going to paste it here. So you see, like I'm exporting a full, like an array with full of image. So I'm going to use this image so that we can so so that we can see this image on the page. So let's go to the app.jsx. So let's create an app, give and say container. Like let's give it a class name. Right now, all I need to do is to get that data, which is image, and I'm going to use array method, which is map, so that we can loop over it and get all the image, and say image and return image itself. And the src is going to be image itself. And you see, once I save the file, we are going to see all the image, sorry, and that's a good thing. So let's go and design it. Like, okay, so let's go to the index.css, and you see, like I give a class name to this div, so I'm going to use this one and come here and target container, and let's give it a display grid. Yeah, display grid. So you see, if we see the preview of the website, the column, there are two columns. So I'm going to give it a 2. So I will say grid template columns 1fr and 1fr. So we are going to get this one, and we are going to give them a fixed height and a fixed width. So let's target the image itself, and we say width is something like 100, and the height to be 300 pixel. So you see some of the image are scratched. So for solving this kind of issue, what we can do is to say object fix to be cover. Once we do that, and everything is going to look good, and let's give them a gap, some gap between each image, say 1 em. Okay, that's good. That is good. So right now, before using the lazy loading itself, oh, I forgot something. So let's give them a max width of 1000 pixel, and let's center it. We say margin auto. Okay, and that's good. And it is center. So but before, like it's all done. Like I'm done with the image itself. So all I need to do is to add the lazy loading. So before I add that feature, let me tell you the difference between not using the lazy loading and using the lazy loading. Like what's the difference between them? So let's go to the div tools and go to the network as always and select image because we only need image to see the situation of each image. So let's refresh the page. So once I do that, you see all of the image is going to be downloaded. All the images are going to be downloaded at first. But if we see the previous website, like the demo, once I refresh it, you are not going to like it's not going to download all the images. So that's the difference. Like once I'm scrolling down, we are going to see the image to be that is being downloaded, and that's good. But right now, if we refresh the website, like the website that we are currently working on, it's going to download all the image at once, and that's not good because maybe someone has a connection issue or someone their network is weak, so they have to wait for the website to download all the images, and once all the images downloaded, then it's going to um, then the user can see their image. So that's not a good point, like that's not a good logic of making a website. So to fix this problem, like once I'm scrolling down, the images must be downloaded while I'm scrolling down. So for doing that, what we have to do right now is go to the npm and say react lazy loading. Create an npm package that is especially being used for react lazy load image component. So we have to download this package, copy this one, and go here, terminal, mhm, and say npm I react lazy load image component. So we have to wait. Okay, it's done. So what we need to do right now is and also like if you're working in a package, like for example React lazy load image component, so you can follow the documentation. Like for me, it is saying import lazy load, which is coming from the component, the package itself. So I'm going to copy this one and paste it here, and then it is saying that instead of using the image itself, like image element that I'm using right now, image element that I'm using, instead of this one, I can say lazy load image. So I have to give them a width of 100% and a height of 300 pixel. And if you want, you can also add alt, like say image, something like that. So once we go to and once we reload the page, you see, all the image are not going to be downloaded. So once I'm scrolling down, it is going to be downloaded. And you see, like when I refresh the page, it is so fast. Yeah, that's the difference between not using the lazy loading and using the lazy loading. So what if I don't use the lazy load image, like say image? Once I refresh the page, all of the image are going to be downloaded. But once I use the lazy load image component and refresh the page, you see we are going to see like some of the image are going to be downloaded. Why? Because right now you see that six images being are downloaded. Why? Because there are currently six image on the screen. So once I'm scrolling down, then all the rest of image is being downloaded, and that's good. Like that's and also that's pretty much it. Like how to use lazy load image and how to bring like lazy load component to your project. And also a bonus tip, like we can also do something else with this package. If we scroll down, you see we can also use it using effect, like we can use effect blur. So we need to copy this one and paste it here. And inside the lazy load component, we have to say effect to be blur. So let's see the difference, like why we have to use the effect. Like what it is going to bring for us. Once I refresh the page, you see the image is going to be blurred at first, but once the image is downloaded, then it's going to show us the complete image. So you see the blur. So once I scroll down, you see the blur in each image, and that's the effect that is coming from this library, and that's good, I think. I think that's it. Like how to work with the lazy load image and why we have to use it and what's the point of using it and what's the difference between using the lazy load image and the image element itself. And also we can also use effect inside this component, and yeah, and also we can also add more image to it. Like let me duplicate this whole thing so that we can get more image. Let's duplicate. So right now there is lots of image right now. You see, we are all the image are not going to be downloaded. Once I'm scrolling down, the image is being downloaded. Like that's good. But if I don't use, like you all know, like what's the difference between image, so I'm going to just make example and show you the difference between them. You see, all the images are going to be downloaded without using the lazy load image. That will make your website's performance to be low, but by using the lazy load image, your website is going to be good. Like the performance of your website is going to be great, like better than now, better than using the image element itself. I think that's it. I hope you learned it. I hope you get how to use React lazy load image component, and yeah, that's it. Hi, how are you? Thank you very much. Like, if you have any question, I'm happy to answer it. That's great. But if you're using the React, like just React, not Next.js, then you have to use the React, like this library, like React Lazy Load Image, because React doesn't give you the feature for adding lazy load image on every image. But if you are using Next.js, then there is a features in Next.js that will give you the features like to have a lazy load image without downloading any package for that. But if you are using just React itself, then I would recommend you to download this package, which is very good. Like it's very easy. Like instead of using the image element itself, all you need to do is to take the lazy load image, which is coming from this library, then add it instead of the image element. And also you can do so many things with it. Like like you see the APIs, like you onload, afterload, and also the using effect that I told you. Like before the image, like to be downloaded, you will get some blur. So once the image is downloaded, then it will show you the complete image. And yeah, like so many things with it. Mm. And also one more thing, like while I was making this project, I was getting some errors. You see, if I don't use the width and height, and let's refresh the page, you see, it's not going to work. So that's the problem that I was getting today while I was making this project for this project as a demo. You see, once I refresh the page, it is all the image is going to be downloaded. But I'm using lazy load image, so what's the problem? Like why the image or all of the image are being downloaded while I'm also using the lazy load image? So the problem is like you have to, while you're using this package, you also need to mention the width, which is going to be 100%, and the height of it, which is 300 pixel. As I set this width and height in the index.css, like the width is 100% and the height is 300 pixel. So once you add the width and height in this component, then it's going to work, I'm sure. You see? So that's the problem I got while I was making this project. So make sure to avoid it, and yeah, that's my experience. So don't forget about the width and height because this is very important. If you don't use it, then it's not going to work properly. And yeah, that's it. So this is just for image, right? How should I do it for div that contains an image and some text? So you see, like text doesn't need loading because text is text. Like if you are having connection issue, so the text will be visible for you. But this is the image that will take time to be downloaded and to see the image. So text, like yeah, this component, like the React lazy load image, so it is clear by its name that this is especially for image. But for the div and the text, you don't really need reloading, like lazy load, because uh, text is going to be shown whether you're having a connection issue or you are having internet weak, like weak internet. But if you're having, like, you see the some of the image are having large sizes like 2 MB or 3 MB or 300 kilobytes, something like that. So it will take time for the website to download the image. So once while website is downloading the image, so I don't want the website to download all the image, because if we don't use the lazy load image, it's going to download the image, like it's going to download all the image, and it will take time. But I don't want it to be like this. Like I want those images that are currently on the page, that are currently like those images that I can see right now, I want those images to be downloaded first, and while I'm scrolling down, the rest of the image download, like being downloaded. And that's the logic. Hi, how are you? Okay, Toby, can you hear me? I'm sure you can. So let's say in Twitter, not all tweets are downloaded. How can I implement that a tweet may contain an image and some text? Let's say in Twitter, not all tweets are downloaded. Yes. How can I implement that a tweet may contain an image and some text? So if your container contains the one text and image, then you have to use the React like lazy load image on the image itself. There's no need to use that on the container itself. So for example, like what if I come here and add text for each image? Uh, yeah, so let's make it inside a div and say something like image. So you see, once I'm reload the page, you see, there's no need to use. So this is the image that is being downloaded, and yeah, so let's go here and clear the cache, disable the cache, because right now all the image is downloaded, so we are going to see it immediately. But right now, you see, the text is its place, but this is the image that is being downloaded and sh- being this like being visible on the page. So once I'm scrolling down, you see the image is being downloaded. So there's no need to add lazy load on the text, because if you want to add, then it's like there's no way to add that. It is possible only on image. You see, that's the difference. Thank you very much, David. So, yeah, thanks, man. Have a great day. You too. So, Toby, can you hear me? Hmm. So, Toby is not with us tonight. He's having a connection issue, and the place that
Yeah,
Toby is living is no
I can
electricity.
hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So, I'm done with the project. Like, I'm done with teaching.
Oh. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Can you see? Okay, awesome. Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm sorry about the technical
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't
for
hear
all
you,
you've been
bro.
able to join. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't hear me.
Yeah, right now I can hear you. You were cutting
Can you
for
hear
a
me
few
now?
moments. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to be ending the stream. Okay. So we're going to be ending the stream now, and thank you everyone for joining and stopping by. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. So have a great day and hope to see you again. Bye. Thank you, Paradumna. Thanks for joining.